10 of the worst NBA trades ever. Before we start, I'd like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Slam Dunk Central. When a trade is agreed and executed, both NBA front offices believe that they're making a positive move for their respective franchises. Sometimes though, the deal proves dramatically one-sided. Perhaps a franchise gave up on a player too soon and he became a quality contributor at his next stop. Maybe management overvalued veterans or attached too many draft picks. Or if you were the Brooklyn Nets, you did both of them. The NBA world has watched many transactions turn ugly, and we're remembering and probably laughing at the worst NBA trades ever. And here we are right now with the 10 worst NBA trades. Number 1. Ron Artest to the Pacers. It's natural that people remember Ron Artest's time with the Pacers for the malice at the palace, but he was a valuable asset for Indiana. He became an all-star and won a Defensive Player of the Year award. The Bulls wish they would have known that when they sent Artest, Brad Miller, Ron Mercer, and Kevin Ollie to Indiana for Jalen Rose, Travis Best, Norm Richardson, and a draft pick that turned into Lonnie Baxter. Artest partnered with Jermaine O'Neal and Reggie Miller to help the Pacers to the next NBA's best record in 2004, though they fell in the Eastern Conference Finals to Detroit basketball. Jalen had a couple good years in Chicago, but it's safe to say the Bulls would have much rather had Artest. Number 2. James Worthy to the Lakers. 38 years before the Cavs and Lakers pulled off their huge 2018 trade deadline deal, the teams executed a trade that didn't generate nearly as much buzz. They swapped draft picks and a couple role players. Cleveland got Dan Ford and a 1980 first-round pick, while LA got Butch Lee and a 1982 first-rounder. When time came for the Lakers to make their 1982 pick, they scooped a promising young forward from North Carolina, James Worthy. Worthy had an incredible 12-year career that included 3 titles with the Lakers. Number 3. Charles Barkley to Philadelphia 76ers. Barkley had worn out his welcome in Philly and wanted desperately to be traded. His wish was granted in the summer of 1992 when he was traded to the Phoenix Suns for a laundry basket with one handle, a pair of Timbs, and some sour grape now and laters. Actually, the Sixers received him, layup, slam dunk competition Perry, John Hornick, and Andrew Stang Lang. The 76ers did not even get a draft pick. Now they would have made off better with those now and laters. The trade was so bad that the Sixers did not make the playoffs for the next 6 years. Number 4. Chris Paul to Lakers Knicks. In 2011, Chris Paul was the superstar point guard to the New Orleans Hornets, and 5-time NBA champ Kobe Bryant was still at the helm for the LA Lakers. The NBA was just getting back to business after a lockout, and the Lakers were poised to acquire Paul. Until then, Commissioner Dave Stern voted the trade. Until then, Commissioner David Stern vetoed the trade. The league owned the Hornets at the time and felt that the players received for Paul were not comparable. Kobe never won another championship while Chris Paul flourished with the LA Clippers, though they never got past the second round of the playoffs. No one knows what would have happened if they had played together over that span, but we imagine it would have been awesome to watch. Number 5. Pacers sent Kawhi Leonard to the Spurs. Who would have thought the quiet guy with the weird laugh and the cornrows would go on to be one of the best two-way players of the decade? Clearly not the Pacers. They traded the future 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and 2-time NBA champion on draft night for PG George Hill. Number 6. Golden State Warriors trade Vince Carter. Most probably don't remember that Vince Carter was actually drafted by the Golden State Warriors back in 1998, but on draft day the Warriors sent Carter to the Toronto Raptors along with cash for forward Antoine Jamison. Carter immediately developed into a star player, winning Rookie of the Year in Toronto. Jamison developed into a star in his own right. However, many of his great seasons were the result of being the best player on a bad team. Number 7. Carmelo Anthony forces trade to Knicks from Nuggets. Carmelo Anthony wanted nothing else to do with coach George Karl or the Denver Nuggets, and the feeling was mutual. On February 11, 2011, Carmelo was traded to the Knicks for players, draft picks, and cash. NBA champion and Finals MVP Chauncey Billups was the other most notable player in the deal. He ended up missing the 2011 playoffs with an injury and was sent to the LA Clippers that same year. Carmelo bounced around a few more times and is currently with the Portland Trail Blazers. Number 8. Thunder trade James Harden to the Rockets. At the time, OKC had superstar players Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, as well as shot-blocking phenomenon Serge Ibaka. Harden would come in to wrestle Westbrook and feast on opposing teams' backups. During the 2012 NBA free agency, OKC wouldn't or couldn't come to terms with Harden, who wanted $60 million over 4 years, so they traded him. OKC received players and picks from the Houston Rockets. The Rockets received a future scoring champ and NBA MVP. OKC eventually parted ways with Westbrook, Durant, and Ibaka as well. For just $5 million more, they might have won a championship. Number 9. New Jersey Nets trade for Gerald Wallace. Back in 2012, forward Gerald Wallace was averaging 13.3 points and 6.6 rebounds with the Portland Trail Blazers. The New Jersey Nets, though, they were out of contention, decided to make a deal to get Wallace. At the trade deadline, they sent Mehmet Okur, Sean Williams, and first-round pick to the Portland Trail Blazers. In return, they received Wallace for the rest of the season until the following. Unfortunately for New Jersey, that draft didn't pick into Damian Lillard just a few months later. Number 10. Minnesota Timberwolves trade Brandon Roy. This deal is as curious as it is bad. The Minnesota Timberwolves drafted shooting guard Brandon Roy with the number 6 overall pick in the 2006 draft. Then, they immediately traded him to the Portland Trail Blazers for shooting guard Randy Foye, who was just taken with the next pick. Foye never amounted to much more than a backup guard in his NBA career. Roy, however, quickly developed into a star in Portland. Unfortunately though, knee injuries ended his career early, but it was still a major blunder by Minnesota. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are currently on your screen, because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.